What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I told y'all we were going to talk about these Portland Trailblazers real quick, and we're going to do that. Scoot Henderson had his career high in this game against the Brooklyn Nets. Toumani, I think, had his career high as well in this game against the Nets. So let's just jump right in and talk about it. You know how we do.
If this world were mine.
So Scoot Henderson and the Portland Trailblazers. Now, I was just getting ready to do a video before. I still got it on deck. I just didn't put it out. But I'm still going to talk about some of the same things. Remember, we talked about in that last video I put out about, teams who sometimes allow or have the tendencies to allow other players to remain in the way when they're rebuilding, when they're trying to do other things, move on, expand, grow, get better, develop, whatever. All right. And we talked about that. And I said that about the Portland Trailblazers was one of those teams, that evidence was in Dame stunting Anthony's growth. Now, a lot of people be like, well, Dame, took Anthony under his wing and blah, 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 and did all that. Cool. That's great. That's great. But what the organization could have done, would have been the best thing for Anthony at that time, was to free him up, to free him up and allow him to develop other parts of his game as well. Force him to develop other parts of his game as well. That didn't happen. So it is what it is. I was just getting ready to talk about how Scoot looks like he's getting ready. Scoot looks like he's about ready to crack that starting lineup again, to give it another go. Not that he's a finished product, but he's understanding the game enough and he's doing enough productive things to where you could probably implement him in that starting lineup maybe now, right? What we see in this game against the Brooklyn Nets, I think Scoot did start. That put Shaden at the 3. Denny Avdia didn't play, and obviously Jeremy Grant didn't play. So there was some room, to kind of test some things out, Now, I do not like Shaden Sharp at the 3. That's just me personally. But when you want to go small, that's great. That should be a hard combination to deal with. When you want to go small, you got to match up. You know what I'm saying? You have to deal with that. My issue, though, with that is that's not a lineup that can sustain over the long haul. Now, again, Denny was hurt or not in the game. Jeremy's still not back. So great. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want to, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I would have probably really looked to move Anthony in the offseason, in this previous offseason. He would have already been gone. He probably would have been gone last season for me, especially even though Shaden was sharp, even though Shaden was hurt, and you're thankful that you still have Anthony. I didn't see the reason why, when it comes to developing and rebuilding and all those things, you're going to have to take your lumps, period. You're going to have to take your lumps, man. You can't avoid that. Those lumps will help you grow. You can't avoid going through those hard times, right? So that's why I would have been like, you know what? For the best of our interests, as a pair, as the organization and the player, we're going to go ahead and let you go, Anthony, so you can go and do your thing somewhere else. And I know you said you were tired of losing, right? You're tired of losing. Has anything changed that much since you said? I mean, I know you you said you're tired of losing, so I'd have been like, you know what? Go ahead, man. Salute. Thank you so much. And there's a chance the door is always open for return. But we're going to go ahead and we got to give these guys some time. I know Shaden is hurt, but it is what it is. We got to give these guys some time. We got to take our lumps and get past it. Now some of these players are still going to have to go through some of these lumps. Like Shaden now is still going to have to go through some things. Yes, he's on the floor. Great. Fantastic. He hasn't got hurt again. Knock on wood. You know what I'm saying? But in a lot of the actions you want, and you've seen Shaden having the ball a little more, which is fine. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, in a lot of those actions, a lot of the game experience that you want Shaden, that you need Shaden to have, because Shaden is one of those guys who can be one of those players. Have you seen what LaMelo's doing? Has anybody checked out LaMelo's? LaMelo's highlights 2 months ago were ridiculous. LaMelo's highlights 3 months ago were ridiculous. Look at LaMelo's highlights now. Now, I'm not saying Shaden is that, but I'm saying Shaden has the type of game that can develop into that if you unwrap it, unlock it. You know what I'm saying? You got to unlock it. Shaden is one of those, he's like an enigma. And you got to unlock, you know what I'm saying, what he has. Because he hasn't had the game experience in the past to be able to understand how to utilize what he's capable of, um, how to expand some of the things he's capable of and do more with it or add to it. He hasn't necessarily learned all those things quite yet. You know, he didn't play in college, right? So it's tough. You know, it's tough. Now, this is why it's a tough business because, of course, you love Anthony and all of that, but it's a tough business. But it's a business. And you got to make some tough decisions. You got to make some tough decisions. Now, somebody is going to have to get out the way. Somebody. Now, you can see where Jeremy Grant can still. Remember, I said if Jeremy Grant wants to stay there and play that role as far as, you know, maybe the third option, it's tough being the third option. It's tough. For a lot of players, they rather come off the bench. You know, Jeff Teague, he was right about that now. It's tough being the third option, y'all. It's really tough. You know what I'm saying? But Jeremy Grant, I think, is the type of player who can accept that. If he's willing to accept that. But so my point is, he might be all right to stay there, maybe, during the rebirth, the rebuild. But Anthony has already made it known, man, he's sick of the losing. And I don't see the Trailblazers just start, you know, they still have some room to grow. They still need to, they have a couple foundational pieces that still need to appear and solidify, right? DeAndre Ayton, is he a foundational piece? He's playing a little more like somebody who can be in support of his teammates. So that's good. I mean, that's great. That's wonderful. So maybe he can become that, you know. At your lead guard position, Scoot's looking like he's ready to take over and be that foundational piece that they thought he would be, that they drafted him to be. And given the opportunity, Shaden, I believe, can be another foundational piece. Now, where does that leave Anthony? Right? I just think, you know, for the betterment of the team. Yeah, and I love Anthony. Anthony Simons is one of those. I absolutely love him. I love his demeanor. Man, Anthony, he's not that far. He's not that far from the same issues they had with Dame when they, you know, when Dame said, you know what, it's time. Are things that different to where this is a whole different situation, or is it similar, or maybe exactly the same? To me, it's very similar, if not exactly the same. Anthony is his assists per game has gone up. Yeah, so he's doing a better job than ever before of passing the ball. So that's great. That's great. But is that enough for him to be able to sit on the sideline? Now, because I watched a little bit, I was at my high school alma mater game last night, so I missed the Portland Trailblazers game. Yes, same high school Chauncey went to. But I missed that Portland Trailblazers game. But I saw a little bit of the highlights. And what I saw sometimes, which we see a lot sometimes with the Trailblazers, is when Scoot's going to work, Anthony or Shaden's just standing over there on the side. Remember Jeremy Grant? He was the third option, fourth option sometimes. So you saw that a lot from him as well. Just standing over there in the corner, just waiting, you know. But you see that a lot. When Shaden has the ball, somebody's, you know, Scoot standing and watching. You know, it's like that. It gives the appearance of the your turn, my turn. And that's not going, you know, we're going to have to play together to get it done. You know, me just standing around while it's your turn because I just took the last shots, that's not going to get it done. You know what I'm saying? That's not what you want, right? I mean, if you're able to put Shaden Sharp at the three, which is fantastic, then you want him to, you know, do some cuts, some dive downs, you want some action off the ball with him. you need some action off the ball with him, right? I mean, you're going to have to do some things, move some pieces consistently and convincingly to make it easier for your offense. Not that it has to be, but when you got scorers, when you got three scorers out there on the court together with a scorer's mentality, because remember I said before, I would prefer that Scoot has a setup mentality with a scorer's advantage. That's what I would prefer. But Scoot is determined to be a scorer first. So if you have Scoot with that mentality, you have Anthony with that mentality, and then you have a player in Shaedon Sharpe who's naturally, who by nature should have that mentality, right? He's a natural too. He's a natural wing. He should have that mentality. It's tough. It's tough. You're going to have some sort of balance as far as what you expect from guys, what you want guys to do, and what they are doing, and what they're doing on the court together. Or, but with these injuries, you're forced to do what you got to do. But it was you can see, it gave you a great opportunity. It gave me a great opportunity to see exactly what the Trailblazers need to do. And still, from a business aspect, now being somebody who loves the Trailblazers, who's always going to stay loyal to Coach Billups, to Chauncey, I want him to have all the firepower he needs. He wants. Right? But sometimes you get better with subtraction, addition by subtraction. Sometimes you have to make room for your blessings, right? Sometimes you got to, you know what I'm saying? Giving glory to the Most High. Sometimes you got to make room. And I think the Trailblazers are in a position right now where they might have to make a little bit of room, to grow. Just a little. They might have to make a little bit of room. Now, I don't know, how drastic it needs to be, and I don't think so. Again, you have some really good pieces, but I just think a little bit of room is necessary. And I think with Anthony is where it should be. And again, let me be clear. I love Anthony Simons. I don't just want to see him go. I want to see him prosper. And I'm not sure if he'll be able to prosper under the circumstances right now that the Trailblazers are dealing with. I don't, again, he already said he's tired of the losing. And I said, for your rebirth, for your regrowth, for your rebuild, you're going to have to deal with some lumps. You have to deal with some lumps. And the Trailblazers have been dealing with some lumps. And maybe it's a sign. Maybe they will continue to deal with some lumps if they have players kind of canceling each other out. Certain players doing the exact same things on the court at the same time. It's going to be a little tough. It's going to be a little tough. But we'll see how things play out. I mean, like I said, I'm just giving my opinion, but it's to me, sometimes, because you're so appreciative of what they've been for the organization and things like that, that makes those decisions a little harder. But I wouldn't have made this decision that hard for me, Now I understand that you want to have a safety net for the abundance of injuries that the Trailblazers go through. I understand that. But I also understand that you want to progress at a certain rate. You want to develop at a certain rate. You want to get better at a certain rate. And there's times that the Trailblazers are kind of stuck in the mud because, sometimes there's people in the way of others. Scoot was able to break through. I just don't think Shaedon has that same, and Scoot's going to break through because Scoot's not going to care. Scoot's like, look, man, I'm not going to let anybody get in my way. That's Scoot's mentality. I'm going to keep shooting these threes until I start making them because I have confidence that I'm a good shooter. So I'm going to keep doing it. As you see in his career high, 8 threes or something like that? 8 made threes? So that's salute to Scoot and his mentality. But I don't think Shaedon, not that he should be spoon-fed at all. But some players just need a little, a different type of push. Scoot really, Going to the bench was enough. For hey, let me show you. Let me keep working. Let me show you. Let me keep working. Let me show you. Not that Shaden's not doing it. Shaden's definitely working, but Shaden sometimes gets in them games and it's just like, oh, they're doing it. All right, cool. Let them do it then. Oh, it's my turn. All right. Give me the rock. And he's tunnel vision. I'm just going to get this shot up. I'm not making the necessary play, and that play might be for me to shoot, but I'm just going to get this shot up. Now, sometimes I believe that mentality has been shaped because of the style of play, the style of Anthony Simons, and how he's not expected right now, and it shouldn't be, because remember, beginning of the season, he was, and it didn't look good, it didn't work out well, but he's not expected to make a whole lot of plays for others. Anthony is expected to put the ball in the basket. That's his main goal, his main focus. That's his main role. It should be, I should say, right? That kind of develops some it's some runoff. You know what I'm saying? You have other players like, okay, well, I mean, all right. You know what I'm saying? But when you move that, when you get that, when you take that element out, now you don't have players like Shaden Sharp just saying, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and give me a couple shots because I'm in the role of Anthony Simons. If he's not on the court, I'm going to do what he usually does. If he is on the court, I'm going to wait until it's my turn to do what he does. I just don't see that being the most productive for the Portland Trailblazers in their growth. I don't see that being the most productive for Shaden Sharp in his growth. So will the Trailblazers say, we'd rather keep Anthony and let Anthony and Scoot do it, and we'll let Shaden grow, and we'll let Shaden grow and develop somewhere else? They could do that. They could do that. We'll see if that happens. But for me, and the potential that Shaden Sharp has to be more than just a scorer, he can be a game changer. He could be a game changer if given the right tools, if given the right push, if given the right mentality, right? Now, remember, Chauncey said that what changed his game, Terrell Brandon and some of those guys, when we talked about those guys helped give him that push, that necessary game-changing information for him to take his game to the necessary level to be where he's at, right? Shaden needs that. Shaden needs that. Scoot has a certain, Scoot probably needs it as well, and he's been getting it. But Shaden needs that too. You know what I'm saying? Anthony is what he is. Anthony is what he is. And he's a great scorer. So, I don't know. Get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Would you rather keep Scoot, Anthony, and Shaden and just somehow figure it out and hope that they don't, you know what I'm saying? Same matter can't occupy the same space. That's what I see. The same type players, same matter can't occupy the same space, right? So we'll see how that plays out, man. And I'm all about the success of the Trailblazers under Chauncey Billups. So we'll see how those things, we'll see if they can get those straight or if they can prove me completely wrong, which is fine. I don't have no problem being completely wrong and somehow Shaden, Scoot, and Anthony be amazing together. We'll see. We will see. You know what I'm saying? But man, we spent more than enough time on that. More than enough time on that. I was going to talk about how terrible the referees are a big problem as far as killing the game. Everybody's been talking about lately, a lot of the other stuff, the 3-point attempts, and it's not necessarily how many threes, it's the type of threes that they're taking. The referees, those are the things killing the game. Those are the things hurting the game. And it's not having referees, it's having it's emotionally empowering the referees to just say things and make up their own reasoning on why they called it or why they won't change the call or why all of a sudden they saw enough to make the call, but they don't see enough to change the call. Those little things. And again, that excuse is they're human. No. No, that's not going to cut it. That's going to destroy the NBA. You see players, and I talked about this years ago when I first saw it happening and I first saw the empowerment being installed. Oh, that's not going to work out. That's not going to work out. You can't give the referees the power of entitlement when you have the players with that already. So now they're going to clash even more. Oh, we have seminars and we give the players courses and player ref relationships. So what? That don't matter because those emotions are going to play into everything. Now you got players poking referees, bumping into female referees, getting into the face of female ref because of the emotion. They're going to match emotion. It's not hard. It's psychology. Now that's where the human aspect comes into it. Oh, well, they're going to be professionals. They don't have a choice. Yeah, they do. Unfortunately, they do. And some will make the wrong choice. And we're going to see that happen. And we're going to see it more. You got to make some changes, Adam. You got to make some changes. Sorry, but an NBA referee should not be emotional, I don't care how human they are. They should not be allowed to be like that. You got to be robotic. Sorry. You got to be robotic, thick skin, emotionless. And then players will have a natural human reaction of, yeah, you don't even want to waste time saying nothing to him because nothing bothers him. So you're not going to get under his or her skin, and you're not going to sway them either way. That's when you get that runoff. That's when you get that result. But if you, just like I said with the Trailblazers and Shayna shot, hey, you just shot the last 2 or 3. All right, I got you. It's my turn. That's what you're going to get with the NBA, with the player-ref relationship. It's going to continue to get worse, no matter how many courses or seminars that you have. It's going to continue to get worse, no matter what type of punishment you implement on the players alone. It's going to continue to get worse. Right? All right, that's enough, man. I don't even want to, because again, like I said, I wasn't going to spend a lot of time this year talking about the rest, but you can see the snowball effect taking place. And it's almost like in slow motion. It's going to keep going downhill, y'all. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. My goodness, it's not done yet. I mean, they need some mindfulness. Somebody in that leadership position needs some mindfulness to understand how these things work and to be able to operate and set parameters to help prevent some of these things. You know what, y'all? This is what we're going to have to do from now on. I love y'all, but I don't care about your feelings. When you put this referee uniform on, I don't care about your feelings. Get out there and ref the game. Maybe I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they should be out there just as emotional as the players, talking back to the players, pointing, and maybe that's what they want to do. Maybe that's entertainment. We'll see how those things work, man. But get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about these Portland Trailblazers. Am I completely wrong? Does Shaden, Anthony, and Scoot need to play together to succeed for the Portland Trailblazers? Are the referees perfectly in the right and only the players in the wrong? Or does everybody need to mature a little bit and not be allowed and enabled and empowered to be on that BS? Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you guys think. But that's more than enough time. I'm going to get out of here. I thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining me. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And of course, I'm going to see y'all on that next one. All right.
If this world were mine.